Good evening, everyone. It's a Saturday evening, and how goes the day for you? So, does it feel like a Saturday anymore since we have already stayed indoors for so long? I guess, hey, Karishma, thanks again for joining. And we have a very given me a request to join. I'm just waiting for him to come online. So talking about travel, when we talk about luxury and Manvendra, hi, you need to rotate the camera angle, I guess.
Sorry.
It's okay. I see a beautiful background, like where you're seated.
Yeah, just a minute. Sorry.
Better?
All right. Yeah.
Better?
Hi.
So I was just telling my audience, when we talk about hospitality, when we talk about luxury travel, I guess nobody can ignore Suryagar and Narendra Bhavan when it comes. And I personally have experienced the hospitality and the warmth of the brand that you are face for. So it's amazing. And you yourself are somebody who really appreciates art, heritage, culture, and of course vouches for sustainability and ecotourism also, right?
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah. So last time when we connected for the you said you were going for a site visit. Let's pick it up from there. So are we hearing some interesting projects of coming up, some nice planning?
We are working on two other projects at this
Okay.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of them is the restoration of a 350-year-old fort about 100 kilometers from Jaipur.
Mm-hmm.
The process of restoration.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is a restoration project that is shelved for the moment, but it is in Pradesh. And it used to be an old palace, and it's next to the Govindgarh Lake. So those are the two site visits. But where I'm currently today is another project that I'm working on. It's not a hotel project. It is trying to develop a community from ground up. It is to create a new model of how one can build is physical and social environments that allow people to realize their true
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you being in the travel hospitality industry for years and building up a brand which becomes everybody's go-to when they think about luxury in the country precisely. How was the 3 months for you? Were you actually restricted? Did you actually lock yourself up? Did you? How did you work out for you? I mean, you must have got fidgety, not been able to step out. How had it been?
Actually, not at all. We had a very busy season last year. So 10, 15 days, I think the entire team just needed this pause and just to recuperate, rejuvenate, and all of that. But the realization struck us all that this was going to be a long drudge, and survival is key at this moment.
Absolutely.
So what we immediately started doing was that we had very limited reserve funds, and we were just trying to see how do we get to the other side as a hotel company. And so a lot of that focus was there. A big focus was really to work on our fundamentals, because you never really get an opportunity like this wherein you don't have any business, but you have the entire. So what are the things in terms of processes that you can set up in ways that you would never have an opportunity otherwise?
Right.
And finally, it was just working out on a very solid outreach program to help us get to the other side, which is to reconnect with our, patrons and telling them that, hey, yes, Jaisalmer and Bikaner and Binsar, we all still exist. And I hope all of you are safe and sound. So yeah, those are the three things.
Also, since Narendra Bhavan has opened, and I've been seeing this lovely post where the brand has been like interestingly showing all these. So the moment I saw the post that we are open and you're welcoming guests, the thought that comes to my mind: what strategies or what was I audible?
Sorry, I missed you out on.
Yeah, I guessed as much. I said since Narendra Bhavan has opened and the other places will be almost open. Has Suryagarh opened? I'm sorry, I don't know that.
Not as yet.
Okay. So I'm sure you'll be in the pipeline of opening that place too. So what are the, when I talk about what are the rebranding strategies, what is the tagline for your brand, what have you taken precautions so that when guests come, they feel secure? See, your brand already has a very important name, has a very, everybody has the faith in your brand, but what extra has you gone of your way when we are coming out of this phase to enter and start traveling again?
So I assume you're referring to safety.
In a way, yeah.
So first and foremost is it's the prime concern of people who are going to travel. So we have done a couple of things. One of the program is that our staff has been in quarantine at our hotels from the very beginning.
Okay.
We have facilities within the hotel for the staff to stay. Big thing that we have done. B is that we have used this opportunity to, I think, at about a 90% integrate our integrate our food supply chains. So just engineering menu, going absolutely local. That's a big area of focus. And third is that we have been working, at least in Jaisalmer, with the local community. So how do you make the destination safe? How do you make the offering of the destination itself much nicer? Right. Thankfully, given their very vast landscapes and given their extremely low population density, destinations of Bikaner and Jaisalmer and Binsar is our other place, they have had very negligible COVID impact. Exactly. Even if you see as of today, Jaisalmer doesn't. I guess there's a little. Can you hear me? Wi-Fi. Yeah. So the only. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. The only active cases that Jaisalmer has right now are people who have come from outside and they are already in quarantine. So it's one of the safest places, thankfully. So those are some of the things, and besides this, whatever are the usual prescribed norms from various certifying agencies, Johnson and Diversey and John Hopkins has released a big list of things. FSSI, ECP. So combining all of that, creating a to-do list of what our processes are going to be, what our procedures are going to be to ensure safety at the highest standards. Also, the thing is that if anyone who is serious about the business or has been serious about the business, guest safety and guest comfort, it's the hallmark of any good operator that they are concerned. And especially at times like this, you go that extra step to ensure that guests are comfortable. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, diverting a little bit. So we have this friend joining us called Anamika, and she's said to say a hi to you because Anamika's tea, Anandini tea, is the one that you get in Suryagarh. Oh, hi Anamika, hi. She said to say a hi to him. I said absolutely, I'll do that. She said, yeah, we have the Anandini. She owns the brand Anandini, and Suryagarh supposedly has Anandini. Most incredible teas, and it is always, she's just an encyclopedia about, I did not know what tea could mean. Yes. Thank you, Anandini. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I've not met her for quite a few months because of this whole thing, and we've not been able to meet, but I mean, we have been in touch regularly, but yes, she clearly messaged me today morning to say this to me. I said, absolutely, I will say that. See, that's a small world in a way. That's what traveling does to you.
So, moving forward, when you are welcoming guests and when you're taking care of the safety, that your guidelines, you're following everything. But apart from all of this, how do you see the whole aspect of traveling being changed or in the coming future, or maybe for a couple of years, I don't know for how long? So what we are terming as new normal. So how do you see that whole idea to be changed?
See, I feel that obviously because of the place that we are in, the rules of the game have changed, and whether it is wearing masks or contactless check-ins, and but I feel that these are the peripherals, and they will change as while certain things are here to stay. Countries are talking of health passports, blockchain enabled. So all of that is surely going to happen because the world cannot afford a tragedy like again. So I guess that we will see an increased collaboration, like happens with every pandemic like this. And this time, with the use of blockchain and other things, with the help of blockchain and other exponential technologies, I guess that this collaboration would mean that all of us have some sort of a way of self-certifying, that is that countries are going to see before they allow tourism to happen in there. And the trial runs for this are already open, and some, I think.
Sorry, I missed. What is open? I'm sorry, I missed that. The word just kind of.
Runs for having blockchain technology in passports. They are already on, and I guess I think it's in Spain that's it's happening. So whilst there will be certain things, but what makes us all human is our quest for exploration and our unquenchable curiosity. Those things are not going to change, and that's why travel will not change. If at all, what will happen is that people will seek more meaningful travel, more transformative travel, because COVID has taken scenes out of a sci-fi movie of a doomsday and made it very real. So everyone, if at all, would understand the fragility of our existence and the need to explore and enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I guess in anybody's lifetime, they've never imagined the world will shut for like a month or 2 months. The whole world together will actually have a dead end to something like this. This is something very unrealistic, like you say, from a science fiction movie to a real life. This is what has happened. So you also work a lot towards sustainability, and since you're talking about restoring the old palaces, forts, and your new projects are also when you have the one in MP and the one ahead of Jaipur. So what are the steps when you talk about ecotourism or sustainability that you keep when you're preparing a project for yourself? What do you have, and what are the first few pointers that you specifically take care of?
See, one is that whenever we operate anywhere, we are or we live, we are all part of a very deeply interconnected ecosystem.
Right.
These are our environmental ecosystems, our social ecosystems. So if you are a part of an ecosystem and you are not doing enough to strengthen it, then sooner or later your own existence is not sustainable in that sense.
Right.
So intangibly is that if you are in a place and if you are not doing enough with the community, then it is stupid. Because working, there is just so much. And when I say that, let's say if you have to put a building together, the way that the architecture of that region has evolved over centuries, there is a lot to learn from it. What
Absolutely.
the people of that region already know, there is a lot to learn from it. In fact, not learning from it is stupid. So we feel that, and if you develop that symbiotic relationship with the community, it's you stand to benefit immensely. Now, jumping onto your question specifically, which is that what do we do? The first thing is really observation. Just go into a region and see how do these people have traditionally lived. What are the kind of foods that they have eaten? what are the
Right.
kind of architectural practices they have been involved with? What is the building materiality that has been existent in this region? What is the historical context of this region? What is the kind of social demographic in this region? So our entire hotels, they were developed, and this was in Jaisalmer, in Bikaner. It is that we got extremely fascinated by the regions that we were in, and there were just incredible stories about its people, their ways of life, its cultural and material heritage. So we thought that we'll just build mediums as hotels to showcase that to the world. So in terms of sustainability, what we did was that we would just pluck in something that draws a lot from the region and gives back, and it's an absolute symbiotic relationship, and that is extrapolated to its social context and also its environmental context. So that's what our approach is. First is just very keen observation. B is that learning from that, and then using whatever is available as that large pool of wisdom into the product that you are building and the story that you're going to sell.
You know, it's a very valid point that you made. It's very important to coexist where you're going. At times, when a brand enters a place or a new terrain or a new region, they want to exist. Without coexisting it, what's available around, without understanding the structure, the culture, the textile, or whatever of that place. So if you coexist, it's a more harmonious way that you can grow and give out to also to the society that you're looking for. And if you're just planning to build yourself as a individual brand, but it just doesn't really help.
No one can exist in isolation.
True.
No one can exist.
And whenever you're moving out to a newer place, you also need to take whatever is around you, that people, the culture, the people, whatever, the like you said, the building material, all of these things together will complete the whole look and feel of the final product that you or anybody else who goes out to make something interesting in that region.
Absolutely. And you know, it's amazing. The more I have can you hear me? The more time I spent with interacting with communities, there is just so much that you can learn, and it makes your enterprise so much more sustainable in every sense of the word. And also what it does for the region is that you put together an enterprise that does a very small part in bringing self-sufficiency to that region, without these people having to give away their environment or identity.
Yes.
That is the most important thing about this.
Makes so much. So I undoubtedly think Rajasthan might be the most closest to your heart as a state, as a place. So,
I think I've grown up here. I've spent a lot of time here.
Yes.
But I feel that my love for land is not region specific only. I think I just have a very deep sense of belonging to land. Yeah.
Hi. There was some, I guess it got disconnected for a minute. Yeah. Signal issue.
So as I said, that every region is unique and every culture is fascinating, and the most.
If I have to ask you one specific region that's kind of, I mean, apart from Rajasthan, if I have to ask you to be a little biased from any other region.
So recently I've been to. We have taken over a place in Binsar. Is upwards of Almora.
Okay.
And that region, my God, it's fascinating beyond belief. And this house was run initially by an extremely passionate, very intelligent, and really a beautiful soul. And we just got, I just got to know her, and then we have the privilege of running it for her now. So her story and this region, the cumulative effect of it has, I mean, I was overwhelmed beyond belief.
So we have a question here. So this my friend Kalpana asked, is Narendra Bhavan open for booking? Yes, they are open. Absolutely, they are open. And she also wants to know, what are the safety measures? Would you, I mean, it's always good that it comes from you. Why don't you just say, though we have discussed it, I know she says I joined a little late. Would you just maybe
So, Kalpana, thank you for your question. Kalpana, thank you for your question. We have done, safety was always a very important thing for us, but now, given the context that we are in, or given the environment or our circumstantial reality, we have not left any stone unturned to ensure that you are safe, and more than you, I mean, our staff is safe. So it means that we are adhering to all the guidelines that are prescribed by the topmost operators in the business. We are adhering to the FSSI guidelines. We are adhering to Johnson & Deversey has released a fantastic set of guidelines. So the idea is that we have combined all of that, and we have reworked our policies and procedures to ensure guest safety at the highest level. What does it mean? It means that I just spoke about we have done a backward integration of our food supply chain so that there is minimum chance of contamination during this thing. Our staff has been on premises quarantined ever since the lockdown began. We have liaised with local clinics, and we ensure that our staff temperatures are taken daily and everything. And besides that, we have hygiene managers on site, on premise. We have done something called a hygiene kit, which is going to be placed in every room. Then there are policies of how a guest checks in and how a guest is comforted while they are at the hotel. So all those things cumulatively ensuring guest safety to the highest standard. I mean, it's the basic minimum requirement because we have to survive as a business as well. And if that is something that is on the top of priority for guests, so is it for us.
Kalpana, I can totally vouch for that. Having experienced the hospitality of the brand, yes, we can absolutely go, Kalpana. Yes, let's go. So I can absolutely vouch how amazingly the brand must have taken care of whatever. So totally we should be, we can be free of any fear or anything that's hitch that we have because of travel. So we have Narendra Bhavan has always fascinated me, but how do you think post-COVID the curve niche? So there's a question: how do you think post-COVID this curve out a niche heritage-cation for travelers like me? Would you who would only visit for whole? But how do you think post-COVID this will curve out a niche as a heritage-cation for travelers? Well, Shuprapta, the brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. Would you like to answer that question?
Yeah. So I think that what that question meant, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that given the post-COVID reality, I mean, we are still not far away from the post-COVID reality. It is just we are in the COVID reality. I guess the question is that how do heritage-specific experiences or staycations are going to fare? Is that the question? If that is the question, then I started by saying that more than ever, for a certain segment of people, they are going to look for transformative travel, more meaningful travel that is them with the community a lot more than ever before. They are going to be very cautious of what is the overall impact of their travels on the local community. All these things are going to happen. And I feel that with the trend that we already saw for companies like Airbnb really, becoming grand success in the last 10 years, we already knew that there was a segment of people who do not want clinical perfection, who do not want yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir hospitality. They are looking for more authentic interactions, more honest interactions. And so I guess that in that context, for places who imbibe those values are going to fare better. And whether it is a heritage staycation, whether it is a forest retreat in the Himalayas, whether it is a sanctuary in the deserts of Jaisalmer, all these things that offer a sense of place and time are going to fare really well, I believe, and I live in that hope.
Okay, so I guess we had a lot of insights regarding how the brand is coming up, new strategies about your new projects and everything. I've traveled off late because of late for.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Okay, sorry, yeah. I said, since we got a lot of insight on how the brand has re-strategized, taken measures, how are your new projects coming up with these new properties that you are picking up and working around them. So not really a vacation that I hear that you have taken. So if I have to ask you, quote unquote, post-COVID, like we are saying it, where would you head for a vacation?
I think that we will have...
not any of your properties, please. And not Rajasthan, please.
I think that vacation is on the card for a long time because, as you know, our sector has been the worst hit, and it's been really difficult. So no mincing of words. So I think that a lot of time after things start getting normal, we would have to work on an overdrive. When I say we, which means our teams, our vendors, everyone in the ecosystem, our cities that are so very dependent on tourism, that we will have to work on an overdrive to get back to where we were in 2019. And so I think that vacations is still a few.
Not a small one, also like a 2-day weekend kind of or whatever.
But you know, everyone comes to us for vacations, and we
exactly, that is what you give people the best of experiences. I mean, I came back and I was almost in a trance for a week. I'm like, why am I back home? Like, why?
But I tell you that with regions like Jaisalmer, if you know, in terms of land area, is greater than 60 countries.
Yes.
In terms of land area. So there is just so much to discover even within our own sets. I mean, there are things that we have not seen ourselves. So our idea of vacation is really going out on a drive and exploring more stuff.
Yeah. I personally, so I have been to Jaisalmer like quite a few times. I was there in this last 2019 November also. I always like this experience, primarily in Khuri. So they have this whole thing. I stay with this gentleman's house. He has a small little house there. So he basically takes you out on a desert and right.
Sorry, I completely lost you.
I know. So Jaisalmer, I have been there at least 4-5 times I've been to Jaisalmer. So there's one experience that I personally love is I generally go to Khuri and I stay there. And in Khuri, so this gentleman, he gives you that experience where I can go out open in the desert and just open desert. I spend the night there. There is no camping, no tents, nothing. So it's just my sleeping bag and I just tuck in. And since I've gone in a camel, the camels are there. So he prepares the dal bati churma at night there. And if it's a full moon night, it's actually very, very, it's just magical if it's a full moon night. Otherwise, just be there. And you know that whole calmness, and it's eerie to a certain extent, but that's a very good feeling. Yes. Yeah. And then next day morning, he'll make this chini ke parathe for you for breakfast there in the desert. And then we come back home to his place again. So those are, I guess, very personal experiences that I guess Rajasthan only can offer you, nothing much as such. So AD would jump back free. Oh yes, so I actually jumped on the freezing pool in Narendra Bhavan at 1:30 at night. So that was Karishma. We had gone together, and yeah, and Siddharth was there to take care of us. We were having a dinner by the poolside, and it's just everybody was in a very happy mood that way. So absolutely pleasure. I will not take much of your time.
With Siddharth around, everyone is usually in a happy mood.
Yes, exactly. He absolutely makes sure. So I will not say on the record a lot of things. Let's not talk about. So, but yes, with the good dinner that we had, and after that, everybody was. I was very tempted to seeing the pool, and I said, okay, nobody went. I said I will go in the pool, and I'm the only one who doesn't know swimming also. So I said, okay, I'll still go. But it was a very good experience. So that's what. And Karishma was there with me. So that's why she writes at 1:30 at night. Somebody needs to jump into the pool, then I'm there. If you need something, need to be done impulsively. But thank you, Manvendra. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And I must share, I just thought to share with you, somehow, it's a very personal thing, but my dad and you have the same name. We share the same name. My dad and you.
Wow.
Yes. It was absolute pleasure. I would absolutely looking forward whenever I visit the properties again, any of one of them, to meet you in person and maybe have a quick chat again there. It is such a pleasure to have you on the session. Thank you for your time.
I would just like to thank all the audience for listening to us patiently.
Yes.
And sorry for the glitches, but you know, we live in.
Yes, Karishma, gin and tonic is there. I had prepared it. He didn't get his.
Someone had asked the question that what is the experience that I recommend at Narendra Bhavan. I would highly recommend the sundowners at Rathadiya Talao.
Absolutely.
And that is where one should go.
You know, I also like to add, you know, some experiences, words absolutely fall short of. You need to be there to soak into that experience. And I guess that's the time when you just leave everything around, just be there to feel that thing. And no matter how amazingly you write or how good a poetess you are, but words will fall short when you describe that. And that's one of the experiences. Absolutely. I mean, I would love it. The one you mentioned. For me. Thank you. Good night.
So much.
Take care. Bye-bye.